The fact that wild animals are still kept in limited conditions for the amusement of the human race is an issue widely discussed in eco-advocacy circles. Let's try to figure out if this is really as bad as they tell us about it. Pros. Simplifying research. Although there are many different gadgets that allow scientists to monitor wild animals in their habitats, but their installation requires a lot of financial and physical costs. In addition, if the camera installed in the jungle breaks, it will need to be replaced, which means even more costs. In other words, putting an animal in a zoo allows you to not go far and conduct research on the spot, while not causing discomfort to the animals. This pushes biology forward, and sometimes it helps to preserve individual representatives of the animal world. Caring for endangered species. Not every animal brought to the zoo has been poached. More often than not, the opposite is true. This is especially true for those species of animals whose population in nature is declining for one reason or another. Placing them in a zoo allows scientists to track the state of the species, its abundance, and take the necessary measures to preserve it. Security. In addition to a 100% chance to continue their race due to the conditions created for this, animals kept in zoos have another decent advantage: they are protected from natural selection. The zoo staff does not care, for example, if one lion cub from the litter turns out to be weaker than the other and could not get its own food in the wild, all the lion cubs will be taken care of. The same thing will happen if, for example, an animal gets sick. They will definitely go out and save it, which will not happen in the wild. Finally, herbivores living in zoos may not be afraid of a predator attack, since they will be separated by several enclosures. Visibility. Although the opportunity to stare at locked animals can sometimes seem like the privilege of an insolent person who has nothing sacred in relation to nature, very often a visit to the zoo can be equated with an educational excursion. This is especially important for schoolchildren when they can see with their own eyes the animals that have just looked at them from the pages of biology textbooks. Cons. Space limitation. Of course, after the wild nature, a cramped enclosure will seem like a prison, not to mention the conditions of detention. There's a difference between endless jungles and fields that you can wander around forever looking for tasty grass or flocks of unsuspecting antelope, and a small room where you put the right food without having to look for it. In addition, the difference in climates can affect an animal of the far north, for example, a polar bear, will feel disgusting even in a temperate zoo. Constant human attention. Unfortunately, few zoo-goers are familiar with the culture of interacting with animals, and warning signs help only in rare cases. For example, many people think that ducks can be fed with bread slices, although this is not true. In fact, these pieces are too large, which can make it difficult for even an adult to digest them. The lack of attention of the zoo staff leads to serious health problems. Cruel treatment. This seems to be the lesser of evils, because everyone is used to thinking that only those who love nature go to work in the zoo and therefore will not allow themselves to mistreat animals. Alas, love for animals is a loose concept, and so far no one has been able to heal elementary human cruelty, short-sightedness, negligence. Animals that lack attention and care can die, which would not happen in the wild. Domestication of animals. An animal born and raised in captivity can never become a full-fledged inhabitant of the wild. This is God knows what a disadvantage, because the cases in which the animal needs to be taken out are very rare. However, in a situation of species extinction, when one representative is wild and the other is from a zoo, mating may not occur due to the unattractiveness of one of the partners and the inability to survive in the wild. Lack of natural environment. No matter how hard zoos try to provide their animals with comfortable conditions, nevertheless, they have a limited territory and can place a limited number of individuals on it, not to mention the fact that each animal is given its own, also limited territory. Often several individuals can huddle in a modest cubbyhole at once, and although they are taken care of, regularly fed and checked for their health, they actually live in captivity. Therefore, many eco-activists say that zoos do not help improve the quality of life of animals or save endangered species, as nature reserves do an excellent job of this task, their natural, unrestricted habitat. Deterioration of life. While some animals simply cannot exist in the wild after growing up in zoos, others cannot continue to live fully, because captivity literally puts pressure on their psyche. Scientists have long noticed that lions living in zoos live less than lions living in the wild. Of course, they are trying to change this by providing animals with conditions that are as close to real as possible, but this is incredibly difficult, and the situation is not getting better. Conclusion. Not all zoos are as bad as they might seem. If the animals are looked after by people who really know what they are doing, these organizations do much more good than harm. But if it is obvious that the management of the zoo is not coping with its duties, and the animals are suffering, it is necessary to sound the alarm and take action. To do this, of course, you need to be very careful. Share with us in the comments what you think of zoos. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching.